Well, hello, my friends. Happy 2026. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Weekly Options. Well, it is Friday night, and I wanted to put together a little recap video of how the trading year is going thus far. As you may recall, last year things ended up quite nicely, in which I ended up number 2 on the Kinfo yearly leaderboard with profits here of $1.6 million. So as you can see here, I came in second with $1.6 million of profit. It was a great year, and I was very thankful for such a good year despite some of the setbacks that I had. And my goal for going into 2026 was to start the year off pretty strong. And so I think I've done that. I had a great week this week, and what I want to do here is just kind of take you through the week here, and we'll look at my calendar and see exactly kind of how the month is coming along. So you can see here for the month of January 2026, we've had just 1 week of trading, and I've come in with profits of $221,000 during the first 9 days of 2026. And what I want to do now is just kind of take you through some of the trades that I went through. And the best way to do that is to kind of come to this area right in here, and we can just kind of look through some of the trades that I made. So the first one for this year was actually Valero. And Valero was a really cool trade where I ended up coming away with $63,000 in profit, and my percent gain on that trade was 50.62%. And so what we can do here is just quickly look at that trade on Valero. And I'll tell you, I didn't quite know how this trade was going to work out, but it ended up working out really well. I entered the trade right in here. This is the 23rd of December. And I went ahead and started buying the June $140 calls, okay? And I didn't quite know what was going to happen with Valero. We'll zoom out and look at some of the chart action here. This is a 100-period linear regression channel, and as you can see, we were in the bottom part of that linear regression channel, and so we were due at least for a reversion to the mean. But we had a lot of geopolitical issues going on. We hadn't quite gone in and taken Maduro just yet, but I kind of knew that things were probably going to start popping off in Venezuela. And Valero is a South Texas oil refiner, and they're pretty big down in South Texas. And I figured that this would be as good a shot as any to maybe take advantage of any sort of turmoil that came out of Venezuela. And so this is the 2-hour chart here. And right here on the 23rd of December, I started buying those June $140 calls. We traded sideways for just a little bit. We had a little bit of a nice candle here where we closed at the top range of this candle. And so I went ahead and bought some more of the June $140 calls. And then right in here, this was the day of the raid, I believe, sometime this weekend. And we had a huge pop in Valero. And as you can see here, we went from really on Friday to the top of this range here. This was about an 11% gain on the underlying. And because I had calls, my calls appreciated by about 50.6%. And so I decided, you know what? I've made 50.6% profit on this trade. I'm not sure how the rest of this is going to play out. Let me go ahead and take my profits. Now, obviously, if I would have stayed in, the stock seems like it's doing really well, and Valero is going to be a big winner as a result of really what's going on in Venezuela. But I just wanted to take my profits because I'm a trader. And so looking back here, here's the Valero trade. I came out with $63,000 on that trade, and that was a great way to start the year. My next trade was in uranium, ticker symbol URA. This is the Uranium ETF, and I ended up with 33.02% on that trade, or $33,000. Let's look at that chart briefly. This is the chart here of URA, and I've traded URA in the past, and I've had some mixed results, I would say. What I first want to do is maybe zoom out to probably, don't want to upgrade. Okay, let's zoom out to the 12-hour chart here, and what you can see here is that we have this area here where price is respecting this rising trend line. We had a bounce off of it right here. We came and we had another bounce off of it right here. We had a bounce off of it right here. And so as price came back down, I figured that URA would be good for a bounce. And so what I did, I'm going to zoom back into the 4-hour chart, was I started buying URA calls right here. This is the 19th. I'm sorry, this is the 19th of December. And I started buying calls on the 19th of December. We came up just a little bit and it showed that the trade had room to run. So I went ahead and added to what was a winning position at that time by buying some more of the April 17 calls. We traded around for a little bit and then had this huge pop-up here going into Monday, the 5th of January. And as we started the trading year, we really started to go a lot higher. Now, I decided to take my profits right here. This is Tuesday, the 6th of January. I was at 33% profit. What I saw here that was pretty interesting is on the 4-hour chart, the linear regression channel is sloping down and to the right. So there's some downward pressure on price action. And we were reaching at least a good 1.5 to 2 standard deviations above the mean here on this trade. And so I figured we'd probably be ripe for a pullback. So on this day, I didn't want to get greedy. The 6th of January, I went ahead and closed out the position for a 33% profit. As you can see, we gapped up and then traded down, and we're still in this area. I think this trade may have room to run, but in the near term, for me personally, I expect a retracement, and there might be another opportunity to get in somewhere in the $44 or $45 range later on down the road. So I took my profits on URA, and that was $33,000 on that trade. I had some trades here in SPX that I'm not going to go over, just little ones, just walking around money, just for folding cash. This is a $5,000 winner, another close to $4,000 winner. But my next trade I closed out today for a significant $85,000 advance on this trade, and I'm talking silver SLV. And I'll take you right to the charts and I'll show you exactly kind of how this trade worked out. So this is the chart here for silver, and as you can see, we have just been in a very nice ascending linear regression channel. This is the 4-hour chart. This is a 100 period look back, and we have just been in this channel the entire way. And so really the tactic here for me is pretty simple. When we're in the lower part of this linear regression channel, then I want to buy. When we come up near the top, then I want to sell. When it comes down near the bottom, I want to buy. So buy low, sell high. And so I'll just kind of widen out this chart a little bit, and I'll just go down to the 2-hour chart just so we can see a little bit more of how this thing played out. So right here on the 29th of December, I decided to establish a new position. And why did I decide to do that? We came up here, we had a nice run, we traded way above the linear regression channel. We opened up on Monday, gapping way down, and I just thought this is a chance to get in. So I went ahead and established a position, and I started buying the May 15 calls. Things went very well. We traded up some more, and right here, we were about right at the 2 standard deviation limit above the mean on the linear regression channel, and I thought about taking profits on this day, but then we closed down. I stayed in. We had another gap down, and I was essentially round tripping this trade. I was still profitable, but not by much. I still believed in the trade, in the long-term thesis, and so I bought some more of the May 15 calls. Things went very well. We traded up some more. I decided to buy some more calls again, and then I bought some more calls again here on the 8th of January. So I had a position. It went up and traded down. My position was still winning, so I added more calls here on the 31st of December. The position was still winning here. I added more calls on the 7th of January, and then again on the 8th of January. We came up again, and we started just trading right around the mean here. And I realized that I was at about, what was my profit limit on this? Yeah, $85,000. I mean, I was just sitting there and I was just like, you know what? It's Friday and I'm up $85,000 on this trade. You know, the goal is to make money, and I've done that. So why don't I just take my capital off the table and look to reset this trade at a later point? But I felt very comfortable taking the money off the table here, taking my profits at 37.7%, taking my $85,000 winner going into the weekend. And so all those trades, I've got one more to talk about. Let's talk about Coca-Cola. Boring Coca-Cola, $30,000 on Coca-Cola. That's a 38.9% gain on this trade. And I'll just take you through this trade really quickly here. This is the Coca-Cola chart. Nothing fancy here. Why did I go into Coca-Cola? Because it's boring, and I wanted someplace fairly safe to kind of put my money. I realized that Coca-Cola traded down. We were at the bottom edge here of this linear regression channel, and I just said, you know what? It's got to revert back to the mean. And boy, did it. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour chart, actually, because the 4-hour chart's what I usually use to trade off of. And so here we are. We had traded down here, and then right in this area here on the 5th of January, I entered into the June 18, 2026 calls. I bought the $65 strikes. We traded sideways for 2 days. I still believed in the trade, so I added to my position. We traded sideways some more, and on the 7th, we closed down a bit, and I said, I don't think this can go much further down. It was a little bit of a loss at that point, but I added to my position because of the strength of the name of Coca-Cola. And sure enough, the buyer stepped in and we started coming up. And right here, we came above the mean. I went ahead and took my profits at 38.9% for a very boring profit of $30,000 on that trade. And so this is how my first trading week of 2026 has gone. And as you can see here, I am sitting on a very nice $221,000 of profit for the week. The goal here for 2026 is to not make more right trades, but just make fewer wrong trades. And what I want to do with that is, instead of chasing flyers, instead of chasing the hot things, I'm going to stick well within my wheelhouse, trading SPX, trading commodities, and really being very patient with my trades. And that also includes trading some of the Dow 30 stocks, some of the big lumbering staples, because the beauty is with options trading, you don't need huge dramatic increases in the underlying value, but you can still make a lot of money by leveraging the correct movement of the underlying with a correct options position. And so that's what I'm doing going into 2026. $221,000 this month. We'll just kind of look at these rolling leaderboards. It's always kind of fun to look at that. This month, on a rolling month basis, I'm in third place with $547,000. That's now 30-day look back, guys. That's not from January the 1st. The 1 year, I'm sitting at 1.8. And at the all-time high, I'm somewhere here. I don't know, where am I? Ooh, there I am, yes, $2.2 million in profit, currently sitting 13th. And we'll see how this goes throughout the year. I kind of like looking at the leaderboard, not out of a bad competition, but it's more positive and encouraging for me. It kind of keeps me motivated, keeps me honest with my trades, and I look forward to kind of continuing on this journey. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments, what are you trading going into 2026? What have been your most profitable positions? Please let me know down in the comments. Please like and subscribe and share the video with a friend. Until next time, guys, stay blessed and happy trading.